What's up guys, it's Eric from Rare Candy and welcome back to another deck and battle here on PTCGO. And today we actually wanted to see Blaziken, so here we are showing off Blaziken and Blaziken GX. So if you guys want to learn more about how to support this channel and also getting a larger say in the type. So we are playing a 4-2-3-2 split of both Blaziken and Blaziken GX, and Blaziken is definitely the key component of this deck that makes it all work. So this is kind of a spiritual successor to an older Blaziken that came out all the way back in Ruby Sapphire, which was for today's format. But what has remained the same is this great ability, Firestarter. So once Typhlosion Prime in the past, similar to the Malamar that we currently have, etc., etc. These have traditionally been strong abilities. And Blaziken, you know, it's going to help us power up that Blaziken GX, but it does actually have a decent attack of its own that I think a lot of people are kind of overlooking. But yeah, definitely Firestarter is going to be the star of the show. And the other, I guess, key attacker in the deck is, of course, going to be Blaziken GX. This is going to be one that came out in Celestial Storm. I think a lot of people were excited for Celestial Storm because it did not make the cut and came out in Dragon Majesty instead. But Blaziken GX is actually a kind of decent card if you have a way to actually power it up. So it has 3 different for 2 fire and a colorless. There's 2/10 and you discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon. So without the other Blaziken, this card just wasn't really that good, and now it actually at least has a half decent partner. So a couple other things I do want to point out. We are choosing to play the 70 HP Torchic from Celestial Storm. I think some of the other ones do have better attacks, but 70 HP in particular is just so important because let's say you throw down a fire energy on a Torchic with 60 HP. Well, guess what? All your opponent has to do is go Tapu Lele with GX, double colorless energy Guzma to take a knockout, just as an example. So the 70 HP is actually going to save you in certain situations. Also, it's going to save you from something like a Sledgehammer with a Beast Energy, etc., etc. So 70 HP, just very, very important. Definitely choosing this over the better attacking Torchics. Similarly, also choosing to play the Celestial Storm Combusken. I think the attacks are better than the single attack that is on the Dragon Majesty one. Not too relevant, but I definitely wanted to point out at the least. So that's going to be kind of the core of the deck, is obviously the thick Blaziken line, but we have a couple of other supporting Pokemon here as well. The first of which is kind of a given. We have 2 copies of Tapu Lele GX for that Wonder Tag ability, but then we also do run double colorless energy in this deck, so we can make use of Energy Drive if we choose to as well. We have 1 copy of Alolan Vulpix for that Beacon attack. So for 0 energy, you search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon, reveal them, put them into your hand. So this is actually a really nice attack because we usually want 3 Stage 2s in play. That is kind of our ideal setup, 2 Baby Blazikens and 1 GX. And so Vulpix is definitely going to help get us there sometimes in the early game when we're still trying to evolve everything. And then the last Pokemon that we have is 1 single copy of the promo Tapu Koko. So Tapu Koko, actually a really important card in this list, actually mainly just because it has free retreat. Something as simple as that definitely shouldn't go overlooked though. Just because a lot of times when your opponent takes a knockout, you need to promote something and then use Firestarter on your benched Pokemon. Well, without free retreat, it makes powering up a bench Pokemon and retreating into it in the same turn more difficult. So the free retreat is just so important at having something promote in between knockouts. Also, 2 Flying Flip, a solid attack. We play double colorless energy, so 20 to each of your opponent's Pokemon. The Baby Blaziken also spreads damage, so we have kind of an alternate strategy we can maybe shift into at some point if we want to go the spread route as well. That's going to be it for the Pokemon line, guys. Just pretty straight to the point here. Just the bare bones, everything we need really just to get going. So let's look at our supporter cards. A lot of this will look pretty standard. Of course, Forcynthia is the best draw supporter in the current standard format, so just a nice shuffle draw 6. We have 2 copies of Lily. This is going to be our ideal first turn supporter. We get to draw until we have 6 in hand, but also if it's our first turn, we get to draw until we have 8. So really nice there. And actually, I really like Lily in Stage 2 decks too, because even though you might think, well, it's hard to play down your hand a lot of the time, it's still good because you know, sometimes you'll find yourself with maybe an evolution piece. Let's say you have a Blaziken in hand. Well, a lot of times you'd maybe just want a Lily instead of Cynthia, because if you play Cynthia, you're going to have to shuffle the Stage 2 back into your deck and try to redraw it plus a rare candy. So sometimes Lily is better at helping complete those type of combo-oriented turns that you need to have. We have one copy of Judge, so just a little bit of hand disruption. Not that great of a card in this deck. We don't really want to run more than this just because we always need a lot of different pieces, and the draw that we get off Judge is not that great. But nevertheless, I think it's important to have maybe at least one form of hand disruption in the deck. Also have one copy of Tate and Liza as well, so we're playing this over something like a Copycat or maybe a third Lily, and that's because we have the flexibility to switch into one of our bench Pokemon. So of course we can shuffle draw 5, which is fine, but then like I said, we have the added option to switch, which is pretty important in a deck like this that is always accelerating energy to the bench. Sometimes we might prize our Tapu Koko, just as an example, and we'll have to be forced to promote something that doesn't have free retreat. And so we're going to need sometimes some turns where we can promote something, accelerate some energy, and then play a card like Tate and Liza to get out of the active spot. So I really like this card, like I said, over something like a Copycat or a different supporter for that reason. And then from there, just 3 Guzmas, just of course to choose what we want to take knockouts on. And then going on to our items, a lot of this will look pretty standard. 4 Ultra Ball, 3 Nest Ball. It's kind of a pretty common split we're seeing in a lot of decks in this current standard format. Also, of course, 4 copies of Rare Candy. Just to skip that middle evolution, go straight into our Blazikens or Blaziken GX. We have a lot of stage 2s that we're trying to get out and play with this deck, so definitely important to get them out as quick as possible. Also have 2 copies of a Rescue Stretcher as a form of recovery. I know a lot of decks usually only might play around 1, but we're constantly trying to recycle stage 2s in this deck, and we need ideally 2 to 3 in play at all times. So I just find myself so often wanting another Rescue Stretcher in a deck like this. Definitely seemed pretty good there. Then we actually have some switching cards as well. We have 2 Switch and 1 copy of Escape Rope. So like I said, there's a lot of times where if our Tapu Koko is knocked out or prized, or we don't have access to it for whatever reason, or maybe let's say we just used our Blaziken to take a big knockout, we want to get it back onto the bench, and we're going to need some extra help sometimes. So something like a switch is going to come in handy. Then like I said, we also have the 1 Escape Rope just to have the option to maybe force our opponent to promote something as well. So yeah, just for the extra option there. We have 2 copies of Choice Band, of course, just to increase our damage output. Not too relevant for Blaziken GX most of the time, but pretty important actually for the baby Blaziken because we can hit for 120, which is going to allow us to basically 2-shot everything in the format. So without Choice Band, there's certain Pokemon you would have to 3-shot, so this is going to help us kind of get over that hump a little bit and ensure that we can take the knockouts when we want to. And I believe the last trainer card we have is 4 copies of Acrobike. So I really like Acrobike in a deck like this because we want Fire Energy in the discard, because Acrobike allows you to look at the top 2 cards of your deck. You get to keep one, discard the other. So sometimes we can put Fire Energy in the discard pile to help us out. But also there's just a lot of turns where we're digging to hit combo pieces. We might have a Blaziken in hand, but we really need to hit that Rare Candy for turn to get our Blaziken in play. Acrobike is just going to give us some extra draw to help us hit what we need to on certain turns. And then to round out the list, of course, 8 Fire Energy and 4 Double Colorless Energy. So guys, that is going to be the list we're going to be trying out for Blaziken. Let's head over to the battle portion of the video and I'll show you how this deck looks in action. Alrighty guys, we have ourselves a game here. We're just going to call the coin flip. And we do win, definitely good. In a deck like this, we are a little bit slower than some of the other decks out there. We need, like I said, 2 to 3 evolutions in play to really get going with this deck. So if we can definitely get an extra turn to maybe get set up a little bit quicker, that is going to be ideal. And unfortunately, the starting hand, we didn't have any basics, but hopefully this next one will do us right here. And yep, we actually have a pretty solid opening hand. We have plenty of ways to thin our deck here. Just trying to think. We can definitely safely use both Nest Balls. That's not a big deal. I'm just trying to think. Oh, okay, we actually top back Tapu Koko. That's awesome as well. So yeah, we can definitely use both Nest Balls like I was saying, but I'm just trying to think. We can also safely play 1 Acrobike. I'm just trying to think though. Do we Ultra away the other 2 Acrobikes just to guarantee the turn 1 Lily with Lele? Or do we try to hit a supporter with Acrobikes? So here, yeah, we'll definitely grab Candy, but hey, let's go for it. Let's see if we can grab a supporter. Okay, that's not one. It's not ideal. So discard the Blaziken. We can get it back with the Stretcher if we need to. And yeah, let's go for the 3rd Acrobike. And we do whiff. We do whiff the supporter. So unfortunately, we are going to have to actually burn like real resources now. Acrobikes, you have to think of them, they're essentially just proxies for actual cards that are in your deck. So I would have definitely preferred to discard those as opposed to something like a rare candy that I just had to do. But nevertheless, still looks to be kind of a solid first turn. Basically, after all of that, we only really lost one rare candy. That's right, I think the only card I didn't want to get rid of. So we're still having a solid start here. We can Lele, go for that turn 1 Lily, and draw 8 cards. So already gone through 30 cards in our deck. Actually 24 if you count the prizes that we have in play, but yeah, so this is actually a pretty great first turn. We have the Rare Candy Blaziken ready to go next turn as well. So our opponent looks to be playing Zoroark Weavile. This could actually give us a little bit of a headache because Weavile can usually one-shot our Blazikens. Figure if we have 2 in play plus the Tapu Lele GX, they are going to be hitting for 150 with Evil Admonition, assuming that's the Weavile that they're playing here. And actually they're going ahead, attaching a Rainbow to the Sneasel. I actually am really happy about this because the Rainbow Energy put them down to 60 HP, and even if they discard this Fire Energy, we can actually potentially knock them out with this Tapu Lele on the next turn as well. So they're going to go ahead and discard that Fire Energy, and okay, yeah, this is like a perfect top deck. We can Rare Candy into Blaziken, and what we can do here is we can actually use Fire Starter to get an energy down on Tapu Lele, attach the Fire Energy in our hand, and then use Tate and Liza to just switch into the Lele to take a knockout. So yeah, we'll definitely go ahead, use Fire Starter. Let's get that Fire Energy down on that Lele. I kind of wish this would have been a double Colress Energy, that way we could have attacked with Blaziken instead, but hey, I definitely don't mind. We're going to get a prize here, knocking out one of the big threats against our deck. And okay. And we're going to get a Guzma out of the prize. It's not the best prize to get right now, but hey, down to take that. And we see a Shuppet hit the bench. That's interesting. So it's like Zoroark, Weavile, Bayonet GX. Seems interesting. So our opponent is going to go for a Zoroark GX. And they're going to go for the Cynthia. Okay. So let's see. Can they get down some more Zoruas? That, I'm sure, is going to be something else they're going to be looking for. So they're going to discard a Judge. Let's see what they get. Either a Dragon or a Psychic Pokemon off of this Mysterious Treasure. So maybe another Shuppet even? Okay, going to go for a Lele. So that will allow them to get another Pokemon down on the bench to do some more damage, and also get a supporter out of their deck maybe for next turn as well. And we see Acrobike. That's definitely not a card we are used to seeing in Zoroark decks. Normally, Zoroark decks don't play anything like Acrobike just because you have Trade already at your disposal, but maybe this is a deck that plays a thinner Zoroark line, and maybe you're playing Acrobikes to supplement that? I'm not sure. So here we're just going to see a Riot is beating for 100. And okay, we get a Blaziken GX, nothing too good there. We can't really go for a Guzma. There's really nothing. We can't really even attack if we do that, so we're just going to go for the Cynthia. Okay, this hand is interesting. It's definitely workable. So we can, yeah, we'll evolve into the Combusken, and we can just Rare Candy into another Blaziken. Yeah, I think I like that because I don't really want to put down this Blaziken GX. I kind of want to conceal the fact that we play it because all they know so far is that we play the baby one. So we'll have to, I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make, but try to surprise our opponent, catch them off guard if possible. Here we're just going to use Energy Drive for 80. It is kind of unfortunate we do need to use it, but we have Rescue Stretcher in hand ready to get that Lele back to get ourselves a supporter. So if we had just retreated, it really wouldn't have done us any good. We actually kind of need the Lele to get knocked out in this situation here. So our opponent is going to get Bayonet. We're going to see another Sneasel hit the bench as well. So there's a Unit Energy I think they got down on the Sneasel. So our opponent is starting to get set up a little bit here, but they only have one Zoroark in play, so they're really not going to be able to go for too many crazy, turns where they just dig through their deck. So we're going to see a Riot Speeding, and actually I kind of like the situation that we're in here because, well, I forget if our Judge is in the deck or not, but that is kind of one thing I am thinking about. So what we can do, we can Rescue Stretcher this Lele, and what I'd like to do is go for a Judge here and hit an energy off the Judge. Between the energy and the 2 fire starters, we can actually take a knockout with our Blaziken GX here, and That would be pretty bad because ideally we knock out Zoroark, put them down at a low hand size, and eliminate their draw in the process. Now the only risky thing here is we're only getting 4 cards, so we might not hit the energy. And we do whiff the energy, so that didn't really quite go as I wanted it to. I mean, nevertheless, we are going to put them at a low hand size, so it's not like the end of the world, I suppose, but I think definitely a missed opportunity for our deck here. So here we're going to go for a fire starter, and we can just, I think, spread a little bit with Tapu Koko. That seems okay to me. This might set up some future knockouts for us as well. So, yeah, because now a Lele DCE Choice Band can knock out this Zoroark at some point if we need to. Let's see, it also puts that baby Tapu Lele within range of being knocked out, so it does make our math a little bit better, I think. So we'll have to see what our opponent is going to get down this turn. It'd be a little bit surprising if they left this Zoroark active. But I mean, I guess if they do, it's not the end of the world because they will have effectively traded 2 prizes for 3 since they would have knocked out Lele and the Koko with it. So we're going to see a trade. Getting rid of an Ultra Ball, okay. And here we're going to see this Riot Speeding knocking out our Tapu Koko. So yeah, I guess we just promote this Torchic for the moment. It's fine. It has a 1 retreat cost. Going to go for the Acrobike. Oof. Okay, so I actually, it hurts to get rid of a switch, but I think I want to keep this Fire Energy because we can actually Guzma and take a knockout on, not Sneasel, but Weavile this turn. I think that's definitely the biggest threat here. And actually, if we do that in the process, we'll spread 20 to everything, and I'll actually set up Zoroark GX to be knocked out by a Blaziken as well. So Weavile, definitely the biggest threat our opponent has on the field at this point. So we're going to try our best to take that thing out. And so at this point, our opponent really doesn't have anything that threatens a knockout. They can get pretty close with a Bayonet GX if they go that route, but yeah, I'm pretty sure Zoroark is safe. Or not Zoroark, but Blaziken is safe. They would need something like a Kukui Devoured Field, and they've already used one Kukui, so I'm not sure if they're going to even have access to that type of play, even if they run both those cards in their deck. So let's see, our opponent was that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 supporters in the discard pile. And that is going to be the 10th. So Bayonet does 30 plus 10 for every supporter in the discard pile. So they're only going to be hitting for 130. Now, granted, they do have that Shady Move ability that is going to allow them to move a damage counter from in play to another Pokemon. But they're only going to be putting us at 140. So we are going to be able to at least get off another attack pretty successfully before this Blaziken goes down. But honestly, if we just hit a Fire Energy, we are in a fantastic spot. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, we would actually need another Fire Energy in the discard and another Fire for turn. Oh, okay. This will work just fine though. So we have Ultra Ball, we can discard the Fire Energy, and I think we get rid of Choice Band potentially. That seems okay to me. Yeah, so what we can do here is we can actually grab another Combusken in the process, starting to set up yet another Blaziken if this active one goes down. But this will allow us to get 2 fire starters onto this Blaziken GX, and then with the double colorless energy in hand, we can actually take a knockout with our Blaziken GX. And then we have this escape rope in hand for next turn as well if we do want to get this Blaziken out of harm's way. So we're just going to retreat, and then we can use Explosive Kick for the knockout, blowing away this Bayonet GX. So I have to say, guys, even though we did like whiff that kind of crucial knockout last turn, I still like the situation we're in. Going down to 2 prizes here, all we have to do is knock out one more Tapu Lele to win the game, or one more Zoroark to win the game. Okay, so we're going to see a Choice Band come down, the Colorless Energy. Okay, we're going to see another Tapu Lele come down. Let's see what they're going to go for. Maybe a Cynthia just to refresh their hand. That could be good. Okay, we are going to see an Acerola. Okay. Actually kind of happy they're not knocking out our benched Blaziken. That would make maybe powering up this Blaziken GX kind of awkward. So I'm actually fine with them just swinging on this active Blaziken. And they've gone through 2 Acerolas, I believe, so far as well. So I'm not sure if they even have any more. So we can actually probably just play the two-shot game to win from here if we really want to. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and play Nest Ball, just see what we have in deck. Alrighty. So nothing too crazy. We have both Blazikins still in deck, that's good. Just trying to think, do we... Nah, we'll leave Lele in there just in case we get a dead hand at some point. So what are we trying to do this turn? I guess we Escape Rope just to repower up this Blaziken. Or actually, no, we should have done. We probably should use Firestarter on one of the Blazikins at the least. That way, yeah, in case of this type of situation, had our opponent promoted something like this, we could actually just take a knockout with a baby Blaziken instead of having to use our GX. So that's definitely a little bit of a misstep. Yeah, sorry about that one, guys. So yeah, I guess it doesn't matter too much who we promote here at this point. We can just promote this damaged one. And yeah, unfortunately, I think we just have to attach the DCE and go for the Cynthia here. So let's see what we can get here. Alrighty, I actually like this hand. So we have Lele, that means we're basically guaranteed to get Guzma next turn. And do we evolve this thing? That's kind of what I'm wondering. And I might hang on to it actually, because in case one of our other Blazikins gets knocked out, like if we take a knockout with Blaziken GX and then they target down one of our other ones to maybe reduce the chance of us accelerating our energy back, I might just leave this space open just in case, just to give us a little bit of flexibility. I think we're fine. And this Combusken is in no danger of being Guzma. If our opponent's going to Guzma anything, it's definitely going to be this Blaziken with 140 damage or this Blaziken GX. So I think we're perfectly safe. But I will get down this Choice Band just in case of a Judge or something like that. I don't want that to maybe shut us out of the game. But I know our opponent already discarded the Judge. Not sure if they have any others left in their deck or not. So yeah, but I guess we just go for the Explosive Kick. Yeah, seems fine. And then from here, all we have to do is Guzma either this Tapu Lele, the baby Tapu Lele, the fairy one, or this Zorua. We can actually just win with the baby Blaziken. So they are going to get down energy on that Tapu Lele. Not sure how impactful it's going to be at this point, but yeah, I feel pretty good about the spot that we're in. If we get judged, that will maybe change some things, but our deck is pretty low anyways. We only have 8 cards left in deck. So let's see, we are going to get hit for 130 here. And okay, yeah, so I think we should just be able to win. So we can win with either the Firestarter or the GX here. So what do we want to take a knockout on? Well, first we are going to need this Guzma to win. That's going to be an important piece of the combo, of course. So here we will get down this Blaziken GX. Yeah, let's take one big last knockout with our GX here. So we're going to use Firestarter, get down energy there. We use Firestarter again. We'll attach, and then we can Guzma. It doesn't really matter. Let's get poor little Zorua. We'll blow this guy away here with an Explosive Kick. So yeah, we are going to take the game against this Zoroark Bayonet Weavile deck. So yeah, Blaziken did emerge victorious there, but let's try the deck out in another match here and see what we can make happen. So this match we will lose the coin flip, which is you know, a little bit unfortunate, but hey, it's got to happen sometime. And our first turn actually isn't too bad. We have Torchic to start with, so we can make use of this Tapu Lele, maybe to grab ourselves a Lily or something like that. Also have Acrobike as well, of course, so let's see what we're going to get here. And okay, this actually looks like a baby Buzzwole Garbodor deck. Interesting. So just trying to think what our game plan is. I feel like we have to try to not bench this Lele at all if possible. Luckily, we do play a decent amount of draw. I think we have 8 supporters, or 8 draw supporters plus 4 Acrobikes. And okay, we top deck Nest Ball. It's actually pretty nice here. And yeah, I think we just have to go for another Torchic. It would be nice to get down Tapu Koko, but we really just need to get our evolutions in play as soon as possible. And from what I can tell, it doesn't look like anything too ridiculous is prized this game. We have both Lele's in the deck. I think we had 2 Blazekins. Maybe we had all 3, I couldn't tell. Here, yeah, I think we go for the Acrobat. We need to hit something other than... Okay, that's actually pretty good. We have Torchic, so we can get that down. And I think we just Judge here. We have the Lele, but I really just do not want to bench it in this matchup unless we absolutely have to. Okay, and this hand's actually pretty workable too. So we can get down a Fire Energy, use Peck for 10, and I think we're actually safe from a knockout. Our opponent's going to be able to do 50 to us unless they have that Beast Energy Prism Star, but usually these decks don't play a great way to search it out, so more than likely I think our Torchic will be safe. And on this next turn we have Rare Candy. All we have to do is Lily and try to find that missing evolution piece that we need to get out our Blazekins. So we're going to see another Fighting Energy come down. And okay. Alright, that's actually a pretty good top deck. I could play the Fire Energy, but I really want a double colorless energy. And unfortunately, we did not get what we need. We got the wrong Blaziken, but do we even evolve? Because we could only do 60 damage. But yeah, let's do it. And actually, what I might do here is I kind of like the idea of maybe going for a GX attack here. We could do 60, which actually does make our math work out pretty well, but I think we just need to be more defensive. Our opponent's going to win the like 2-shot war or whatever you want to call it, just because they have this Shrine of Punishment in play doing extra damage to us. So yeah, let's just get rid of our opponent's energy here and force them to find another energy to attack this turn. And here they are going to get down to Rainbow Energy. I'm actually really happy about that because that means that's one less Rainbow Energy they have for their Garbo, almost said Garbotoxin, their Garbodor, to use Trash Avalanche. So actually really fine with that. And Blaziken GX only has a 1 retreat cost as well, so even though we are getting pretty beat up here in the active, I still kind of like where we're at. We don't have any Fire Energy in the discard, so I think unfortunately we cannot put this Fire Energy in play. Okay, so we actually found Rare Candy Blaziken. Do we hit? That's not what I wanted to see. I was hoping to get a Fire Energy. That way we could use Fire Starter and put some pressure onto this Blaziken. So here we just Rare Candy, I'm pretty sure, into this Fire Starter Blaziken. Or actually, we don't even really have to commit to it this turn if we don't want to as well. But I think definitely I want to get this Tapu Koko into play. More than likely, our Blaziken GX is getting knocked out next turn, so we are going to need a free retreater to promote whenever that happens. So here I'm going to attach this Fire Energy for turn, and that way we can do 60 damage to this thing, softening it up for our baby Blaziken to take a knockout on it on the next turn. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and use Slash here. And even though, like I said, our Blaziken GX is getting a little bit beat up here, we're, I think, playing to our outs the best we can. So we're going to see an Instruct from our opponent. Let's see what else they might be able to find. So we're just going to see a Sledgehammer, so no supporter from our opponent there. I'm fine with that. But they are going to get 2 cards off the prizes. And so let's see what we can get here. Oh, Fire Energy. That's actually a pretty good top deck. But, well, actually, I might save it and just try to hit double Colress Energy, because if we get double Colress Energy, we can use Fire Starter on a different Pokemon. And nice. So we actually do hit the double Colress Energy. It's pretty good. And so now we can use Fire Starter, setting up another Blaziken, or Torchic at this point, but trying to set up potentially for another Blaziken at some point in the next turn or so. So we'll just go and retreat and go ahead and use Fire Stream. So knocking out this Buzzwole and starting to spread a little bit of damage around. Hopefully our spread damage can maybe set up some knockouts at some point. So we are going to see this Buzzwole get promoted. Unfortunately for them, it's only going to do 50 damage to us unless they find that Beast Energy Prism Star. So I actually kind of like the spot that we're going to be in for this thing. We can safely tank a hit with our Blaziken and you know, try to put on some pressure back to our opponent here. So they're going to get down another Trubbish. Okay. So we're going to see a Sledgehammer, and okay, we actually get a Combusken. I like that. Just trying to think, where do we evolve? Because if we evolve the one with energy, they could potentially target that one down. So I think I'm just going to spread our energy around a little bit. Or not energy, but our resources around just a little bit here. So yeah, we have to attach to the active. Just trying to think, do we go for an escape rope play? But honestly, I think I'm fine with whatever we attack into this turn. Even if we play escape rope, that would have been fine. But here I'm just going to hang on to it, but we're going to attach to the active, use Firestarter. And yeah, we'll attach to this Combusken down here, just spreading around our resources a little bit. And yeah, I think we just go for the Fire Stream. Not going to take any knockouts this turn, but we are in a pretty good spot because this Buzzwole can't knock us out. It's only going to be doing another 50 damage to us. Even if they find the Beast Energy, it would be 80, but they have the switch. But honestly, I'm not even that bummed out about it because they've kind of played into like a weird spot where, yes, they're going to knock out our Blaziken, but next turn I can get out another Blaziken and we can use Fire Stream to knock out both Garbodor and that Buzzwole we just attacked into. And that's actually pretty important too because that will allow us to skip Sledgehammer, the turn where, you know, when we're at 4 prizes, our opponent can do 120 with a Buzzwole. We are going to just skip around that turn that they normally have. So, okay, I like where we're at here. And so we're going to Ultra Ball. We obviously get rid of a Fire Energy, and I just hate to get rid of any other item cards. Just because I want to play around Garbodor as much as possible, but we definitely have to get rid of the Fire Energy. And actually, maybe I should have just put that energy last turn onto the Torchic, because in that case I would be able to safely discard both of these Fire Energies. So yeah, I think I have to just discard the Choice Band here. And we could go for a Lele, try to refresh our hand, but I just really don't want to do that. We already had to get rid of a Blaziken GX. I just do not think we can afford to bench a Lele unless it's absolutely critical. So I think this is fine. We can go for the Rare Candy Blaziken. And we can actually take 2 prizes. Even though our hand's dead, we'll get 2 cards there and a card for our next turn. So between the 3 cards, I'm hoping we'll have enough resources to stay in this game until then. So yeah, we'll just retreat this Tapu Koko and use Fire Stream, taking a knockout on both Garbodor and the Baby Buzzwole. So if they are going to get a return KO, they actually need Garbodor and a Rainbow Energy, and they've already gone through 2 rainbows, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so we are going to find a Guzma, so even actually if we get knocked out here, we might be able to go for like a Guzma play with Tapu Koko and try to trap something in the spread, so we will at least have one decent potential play. Alright, so our opponent does find the Garbodor. They just need the Rainbow Energy. We really need them to whiff that this turn. Alright, so they're going to get down a Buzzwole. We're going to see a Nest Ball come down. Okay, we're going to see a Regirock. That's fine by me. Do they have Rainbow Energy? That's kind of the missing piece of the puzzle they really have to have here. So they're discarding their hand. It looks like they must not have it. They're trying to dig a little bit deeper with this Oranguru, trying to use that Instructability to draw until they have 3, hopefully hitting the Rainbow Energy there. And do they have it? I'd imagine they don't. Okay, they just have a Fighting Energy. So yeah, that's a huge whiff from our opponent here. This is going to be a big opening for us, because now we can attach this DC, and we top deck Cynthia as well. So we are definitely staying in this game. And let 2040, 60 to 120. Yeah, we are past the point of no return with our items, so we can safely just kind of go all in here. I guess we can use Firestarter, and I guess it's really no danger powering up the Combusken, but I might even, a lot of things are starting to get spread on, so I might even use the energy to go into Tapu Koko. I kind of actually like that in this situation. Give us the option to go for a Flying Flip next turn if possible. So yeah, we'll go for the Acrobike here, grabbing an Ultra Ball. And what we can do here, we can Ultra Ball away this Nest Ball and then a Fire Energy. Yeah, because Nest Ball is like definitely useless at this point. Grabbing another Blaziken, and actually at this point, guys, I think we're in such a good spot to win this game. Getting the second Blaziken online, I think, almost seals things up for us, because even if they do take a return knockout with a Garbodor on their next turn, you know, we can just keep running through those. And I don't think they have any other realistic way to take a one-shot on a Blaziken. Blaziken's just too beefy for these fighting Pokemon to deal with. So let's see, does our opponent have a Rainbow Energy to at the very least take a knockout on this current Blaziken? But even if they do, like I said guys, I just think we're in such a dominant spot to close out this match. Because right now we can do one more Fire Stream, and then one Flying Flip actually would win us the game too. So I think we just have enough on board already to wrap things up. And here we just get the victory screen. I guess our opponent did not get what they needed, so Blaziken is going to take the game against Baby Buzzwole, Garbodor, Shrine of Punishment. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this look at Blaziken and Blaziken GX. And like I said earlier too, big shout out to Ellie Thomas and the rest of our patrons over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg for helping make this video possible. But as usual guys, feel free to like and subscribe, and if you can support this channel by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg, or by picking up something from our online store at rarecandytcg.com, it would mean a lot. But with that, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.